Hello, welcome to the Met Office 10-day trend. The general trend over the next 10 days is that the weather will become less unsettled, high pressure rather than low, and for many of us that means it will be drier. But there are signs that it could perhaps turn much colder later. However, it's actually relatively mild across parts of the UK through Wednesday night as cloud, wind and rain clear away. Then it turns colder again, but this time from the northwest. And with northwesterly winds across the country at the start of Thursday, we'll see frequent showers affecting northern and western Britain, sleet and snow building up over the Scottish mountains. Away from these showers, plenty of sunshine, feeling chilly though, with that northwesterly breeze. By Friday, the end of the working week, and the breeze switches to a southwesterly, a little milder in the south, and plenty of sunshine for many places, but further showers to come across western Scotland, although at this stage the snow will be mostly confined to the tops of the hills. And under those clear skies, we'll see frost and fog forming in many places on Friday night, although across Scotland, Northern Ireland, as well as Northern England, cloud and outbreaks of rain will push their way southwards as we begin the weekend. So a wet start for some places on Saturday morning, but the showers fading away, and across southern parts of Britain, after a frosty and foggy start, we'll see sunshine developing throughout Saturday afternoon, and a repeat on Sunday, frost and fog to start, sunny skies into the afternoon. But across Scotland and Northern Ireland on Sunday, a bit more of a southwesterly breeze will bring thicker cloud and some rain to western hills. It will also bring milder temperatures, and this milder slice of Atlantic air will topple its way southwards by Monday, and that means that for some places we'll reach 10 degrees once we clear any frost and fog first thing. And it will be a fine day for much of the UK as we begin next week. High pressure forming instead of low pressure, and that will bring a lot of settled weather. That high pressure is going to be key to our weather throughout next week, and it looks likely to dominate the weather throughout the week. And to explain why, we need to look high in the sky at the jet stream. This fast flowing current of air circles the globe at around 20 to 30,000 feet. And at the start of next week, it's taking an unusual path. It goes to the north and then it comes back round again to the south. And if we rewind back to the present time, the time of recording, we can see the jet stream in a much more typical position. It's a fast flowing current of air, an active jet stream coming in from the west, and when it's in this position, it tends to pick up areas of low pressure and hurl them our way. But moving forward into Thursday and Friday and the weekend, and you can see that jet stream becomes less active. It starts to wobble and meander. It starts to slow down, almost as if the brakes are being applied from high above it. And in fact, that's exactly what's happening. Because if we go even further back in time to the end of last week and travel hundreds of miles away to the North Pole, and if we take a look at the air at 80,000 feet above the North Pole, well, something funny has happened in the last week or so. Now, 80,000 feet above the North Pole is a slice of the atmosphere known as the stratosphere. And this is a temperature profile during the last few months, and you can see as we enter the northern hemisphere winter, the temperature of the stratosphere dropped away, as you'd normally expect. But in the last week or so, here's the temperature, minus 80 odd. It rose very rapidly by about 50 degrees in the space of just a few days. Now, this is a phenomenon known as sudden stratospheric warming. And although it's interesting, it does also impact our own weather. Now, here's a more detailed look at the sudden stratospheric warming. And again, this is the end of last week. And the blues here indicate a cold core of air known as the polar vortex. This is the North Pole. Here's the UK. And what we normally see in the winter is this polar vortex, cold air and low pressure with a circulation of winds surrounding it. And that tends to move in unison, dance to the same tune as our very own jet stream. And when that happens, we get an active jet stream and we get low pressure in the UK. But sometimes those winds wobble, and that allows the temperature above the North Pole at 80,000 feet to warm up rapidly, sudden stratospheric warming, which also disrupts those winds high above the jet stream. Now, the effects on our own weather are not immediate. This has already happened, but it takes time for the impacts to trickle down. And of course, if you slow down the winds in the skies, in the stratosphere, it can end up slowing down the jet stream. So it looks likely that after a lag of about 1 to 2 weeks, This sudden stratospheric warming will lead to a less active jet stream affecting us, and more likely to see high pressure instead of low pressure through next week. There is also the possibility, depending on where that high pressure ends up, that we'll have cold easterly winds, but it's certainly not a guarantee at this stage. So looking into days 7 to 10, because of the rapid warming in the stratosphere way above the North Pole, it's likely that we'll have a less active jet stream across the Atlantic, and we'll have fewer low pressure systems, more high pressure and drier weather. But there's also a chance that we'll have easterly winds bringing very cold air. All to play for. It's certainly a case of watch this space, and you can keep up to date with all the developments via our Met Office website, downloading our app and following us on social media.